Hi guys, it's Drew here, bringing you another True Talk episode, and this may be the last one before the new year because of my stupid croaky voice, as you can probably hear it. It's a very bad cold at the moment, and it's proving difficult for me to get anything else done at the moment. So I just want to quickly discuss a quick few things. It's going to be a quick fire video. PUBG came out, didn't it? That was exciting, doing really well on the Xbox so far. Apparently 500,000 copies sold, or 500,000 users anyway on the leaderboards in the first 24 hours, so that bodes very well for the title. Probably going to get 1 million probably before the end of the year, maybe even more than that, but it's going to be a big thing on Xbox, even though personally it's not a game for me because I don't really like versus multiplayer at all. But you know, it's having issues with performance, frame rate and things such as that, and obviously the naysayers are jumping on that bandwagon. But just one thing to say to all the naysayers, that's why it's in preview program. If you're a PC naysayer, just look at your own early access on Steam. I mean, sometimes you get no game whatsoever uploaded as early access, and I think PlayStation people are just jealous that they haven't got it. The fact is, PUBG's never a looker of a game. It's a massive thing at the moment. It's the world's most popular game at the moment on everything. You know what I mean? So I'd rather have a version of it on my console, on my platform of choice, than not have a version of it. Put it that way. And you just think what that game actually does. It's not the most graphically intense game, but what it does do is it's tracking 100 players over a massive open world, and those players can do anything they want pretty much. They can be opening doors, they can be firing guns, picking up weapons, equipping stuff, jumping around, driving in cars, you know, doing all sorts of things. And it's keeping track of 100 individual players. We're not just talking a closed environment here like a Call of Duty map where it's tracking what I mean, I haven't played a multiplayer Call of Duty game for ages. I don't know how many players can get in one of those lobbies at the moment now. Is it maybe about 16, something like that? But when, like, for example, if it is, that's tracking like a very small number of players over a very small enclosed map area as well, not a big massive open world area. So the fact that it's even running on a console at all, I think is is absolutely a fine achievement for what they've done. Me personally, I would have waited till the new year to get it out there, because it probably did need a little bit more polishing before it came out, even out on preview program. But I understand them wanting to get it out at the end of the year and finish the year off with a bang there. So well done for them, and it's may get a bit worse, may get better. That's the nature of preview program. You know, new builds come out. I mean, I'm an insider program member for the dashboard, so I know what that's like. Sometimes the dashboards work brilliant, sometimes it works janky as hell, and that's what PUBG is going to go through. But ultimately they'll refine it, and I think they'll be able to optimize it an awful lot better for a console as well, because at the end of the day, console's a closed platform, and they're not trying to optimize it for a million different combinations of hardware. They know what the hardware is, they know what the platform is, and I would imagine it will get optimized an awful lot quicker than the PC version, which is still a shambles, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, remember, this isn't a AAA team doing it. Their Bluehole are by no means a AAA team. They've got no pedigree of doing a game like this, and I think they're all maybe taken aback of the huge success that it is, and good on them. And I hope everybody who bought PUBG is enjoying it, and I may even pick it up myself, even though I don't really like the multiplayer titles, but not at that price. I'll be definitely waiting for it to at least to go at 50% before I even entertain purchasing it. So what else have I got to quickly talk about? Dashboard got a kind of a new update. Storefront, new search criterias. We can click drop down menus to search for things such as search for games through genre, average star rating, even the rating here, SRB or Peggy gave the game, and there's a few other ones as well. But the one that's been omitted from it, which is very easy to find games through, is by alphabet, by A, B, C, D. You know what I mean? I don't know why that's not there. One of the things I love to do on the Xbox 360 was just pick a letter and have a look what titles were available on that letter. And I've always found it was the easiest way to find a title. If you know what the title's called, you can quickly locate it by just clicking on the damn letter. But no, they've not done that for some reason. I don't know why. And people could say, yes, you can use the search facility, but the search facility doesn't work very well. I mean, just today, the reason why I mention it is today, some DLC came out for a great game that came out in 2016 on Xbox, The Final Station. The Only Traitor DLC came out. And I wanted to find, obviously, that DLC, that I wanted to find the game and re-download it. So I thought, I'll put it in a search engine, typed in The Final Station. It didn't bring it up. It brought up Rock Band and it brought up Star Wars Battlefront. So I don't know why it brought up Star Wars Battlefront or Rock Band, because they didn't include the words the final or station. So yeah. Seems to be the search algorithms seem to be favouring non-related content of what you put in, and seems to be favouring larger AAA titles, which again, as a channel that supports indie games and small developers, it's not on really. I mean, there's tons of things that need refining on the storefront as well. I mean, the biggest thing that I want, and I have fed this back through preview program, but obviously I must be the only one mentioning it because they've not they've not started to do any indication that they're going to change it, is how the storefront works. When a game comes out, it gets a tile on the storefront, and the initial splash screen just shows one row of these tiles. Now that's all great enough, but if you want to delve deeper in the store, you've got to click browse to go further in and see the second and third layers. But when usually these AAA titles, when a AAA title comes out, it's normally got 1 or 2 copies, hasn't it? And sometimes they even have 3, 4 copies. So I'll just say Call of Duty for an example. They could have a gold, silver, bronze copy, a veteran copy, you know, a special ops copy. I'm just pulling these names out of my, out the air really, but you know what I mean. They've got multiple versions of the game, and how the store currently works is each of these multiple versions do have their own tile. So when these come out on a Friday, for example, alongside a couple of indie games or a couple of other games, the game with multiple titles completely dominates that initial splash screen and wipes out the littler titles or the other titles that have got single copies straight onto page 2. And that front row is quite important. You may be thinking, well, people can still find the games, but that front row is important. That's a splash screen. That's your shop window for a very short space of time. The majority of your sales will come on your release window, so that release window you need as much exposure as possible. And it's not fair that these games with multiple titles are just pushing other titles off that initial shop window and initial front row, and that needs changing as well. They need to do it in a layered system, much like they've done with the guide button currently, where Call of Duty has one tile, you click on it, and it opens up another window where you can see all the various versions of it, and it doesn't dominate that front row and that front marketplace there, which is oh so important for some little guys. Do you know what I mean? It's very important. That what else has been bugging me this week? Oh, Game of Year, end of year Game Awards, and the Game Awards in general. Game Awards for 2017. Well, last time I checked, the year ended on the 31st. The stroke of midnight, 11:59 at night on the 31st of December is when the year clicks over to the 1st of January. And the last time I checked, because I've just downloaded 2 games today, games are still coming out. So how can you do a game of the year when all the games haven't come out for that year? You know what I mean? My lists I compile as I go along during the year. I have top 10s that I have, and then when something better comes along, a game drops out and a new game goes in, and that's how I work it. So my games of the year are not going to come out until 2018, because some games haven't been released yet. I've just downloaded a game today which I've had a very quick go of, but I was very impressed with it. I won't tell you what it is as of yet, because I probably won't get a review done till the new year, but it's impressed the hell out of me, and I'm going to give it another play, and a very long play, and I think it may actually reach my top 10, and that came out today. So if I'd have done my game of the year as some sites have done and some outlets have done, that wouldn't even factor into it, which is unfair. You can't have a game of the year or an award for a set time period when that set time period hasn't elapsed. They're just all guilty of doing it, and it's just absolute pure madness. Do you know what I mean? It's just absolutely crazy. I just don't know why to do it. It just annoys the hell out of me. Okay, so I'm going to wrap the video up now, guys, just with a quick plan going forward, and it all depends on this cold that I've got here, because I'm really struggling with the voice. Reviews are kind of like on hold, unfortunately. I've got 4 more to do currently, but I don't like to do reviews when my voice is like this. I always like to try and put my best into the reviews, so they're currently on hold until this clears up. So hopefully tons of throat tablets and whatnot will sort this out. There was a couple of pilot videos I wanted to do, just a few test ideas to see how they go down as well. Again, don't really want to be doing those when I've got a croaky voice like this, because obviously they won't get you won't get the best impression of what they're trying to do. So yeah, it all really depends on this crappy cold, to be honest with you, which I'm just sick to the back teeth of. But anyway, that's a me problem. So in case I don't get to speak to you all directly again, I hope you all have a wonderful festive period, and all the best for the new year. But hopefully I will speak to you again in the next couple of weeks there, and get some more reviews done and get these pilot videos done. And I'm really looking forward to 2018, because I've got quite a lot of big ideas. The nature of my health and stuff, it can quite easily get derailed, but if everything goes to plan, I'm going to be trying to do an awful lot more different content, and try and spread my horizons a little bit more, and see what happens, basically. But all the best for now, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.